You live, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN Podcast. This is podcast number 73, and I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts as always, starting with Steph. How you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. After a great win against Belenenses, it was not a pretty game, but we won, and that's the most important thing. And we see our youth, getting better and better, even with tough games like Belenenses. But we'll talk about it. So doing pretty good. Chris, how you doing?
Good to hear. Good to hear. Also joined by my boy.
Danny's sound is cutting out.
I know.
Fuck, I had a feeling.
You're back now.
How about now? Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. I was lagging a bit. Fuck.
I didn't know.
I'm also joined by Christian. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great because Sporting is officially in the hunt for second place now. So I am doing pretty good.
Not yet. Don't jinx it.
Optimistic.
Yeah,
we have to win.
We basically have to keep
win on Wednesday. I'll agree with you. And last but not least, the man with a camera, finally with a face, our boy Nando. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, man. We're on a win streak. We're getting them dubs. And like Chris just said, we might be in the hunt for second place. We're doing math. I know that's right. As long as we're doing math, that's a good sign. Or a better sign.
I haven't had any math to do in a while.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. We're doing some Europa League calculations. Making sure we finished at least fifth.
Right. At the very least.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, let's just jump straight into it. Sporting beat Belenenses SAD, the fake Belenenses, and they're sad. 3-1 at Cidade Futebol. Starting lineup was as followed. We had Luís Maximiliano in net with a back three of Eduardo Quaresma, Coates, and Christian Borja. Of course, this was signified because of Mathieu's early retirement due to injury, but we'll get into that later. We had Ristovski back in the lineup with Mateusz Wendel and Nuno Mendes. No Acuna as of yet, with Gonzalo Plata, Sporar, and Jovan Cabral up top. We had substitutions of Doumbia, Camacho, Ilori, Bataglia, and of course, last but not least, and I know somebody we're going to all talk about, Francisco Geraldes. Steph, I'll start it off with you first, dude. What were your thoughts on this game?
Well, in a nutshell, we won 3-1. It was not a pretty game. The first half, Sporting played better than Belenenses, even though we started the game down 1-0. But we basically were able to turn it around, and by the first half, we're winning 3-1, and that was a great performance in the first half. Quaresma was actually the player that didn't perform that well, but it happens. He's a young player, and you're not going to play well every game, but you learn from your mistakes. That goal was because of him. But shit happens. I mean, it is what it is. But the second half, we played more in containing the ball and containing the game, managing the game, and we created less chances of opportunity, which gave Belenenses a little bit more possession of the ball. They could have scored a couple times, but we could have scored as well. But basically, Amorim, you can tell that he's a smart coach. He knows when to do the substitutions to keep the team fresh, which he did. Giovanni came out on first half because he felt a little bit of a pain, and that was the proper move to make by Amorim. Why, maybe get a long-time injury when you can avoid that. Sporar, he missed an easy goal. He could have scored. He didn't. That was upsetting. He has to cash it in. But overall, the one player that outside Giovanni, because he scored 2 goals and he was amazing again. But I like the performance by Chico Geraldes. What a performance. I mean, the guy played in a position that he loves to play. He reminded me when he was playing at Rio or when he was playing in the youth teams at Sporting as a junior. como junior juvenil. So he gave me a glimpse of what he can be. Vieto is not back yet, so now I feel a lot better with seeing Chic Geralds performing that way. Because having only Wendell and Matheus Nunes, it's not good enough. We needed something that could come off the bench, and Chic Geralds for sure he showed us that. Wow, you know what? I'm here. I can help the team, and he could have scored a couple times from outside the box. The goalie from Belenenses, his name is Coffee. What a performance! To me, he was the MVP for Belenenses. We could have won by 5-1, 5-2. Let's give another goal to Belenenses. If it wasn't for Coffee, he put some great saves, and that's it. In a nutshell, we deserve to win. I know it wasn't a pretty game, but the most important thing is we are winning, and that's what's important. Because if you looked at the match against Porto, Passo Ferreira, or Passo Ferreira Porto, because it was a Passo Ferreira, Porto didn't deserve to win, but they won, and that's how you win titles. You need to find a way to win games, and now we're finding ways to win games, and now our team is growing, and with the youth we have, maybe we'll talk about it. We'll need to buy 1 or 2 veteran players, and then we'll be in good shape.
Agreed. And sometimes, you don't have to play well to win, so long as you win. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
Christian, what about you, dude? What were your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, like Steph said, honestly, the game felt a little bit closer in the first half than it actually was because we were being efficient with our chances and we turned it around and made it 3-1. Belenenses had a few chances. They scored this. I think they tied it at 2-2, but I mean, Lico was offside. But I mean, they had a couple chances. They were pretty shit in the second half, to be honest. And Sporting did take the foot off the gas a little bit in the second half, but it was pretty much over. Belenenses wasn't creating enough to actually be a real threat. So we just kind of put it into cruise control, and it was surprisingly the Geralds show a little bit in the second half. To be honest, I think that this is the longest that he's ever gotten, right? I mean, he got 45 minutes to do his thing. Normally gets like
it's a miracle.
8 minutes max, sometimes less, often like 3 to do his thing, which really is a tough ask. So it's honestly one of the first, like the most he's ever gotten, I'd say is probably like 20. Like he's come on 70 before. And it's just, he was kind of one of those guys that's like, you're running out of chances, dude. Like, yeah, I know you haven't been given that many, but you have still gotten a handful of opportunities and nothing's really materialized. You haven't materialized really on loan in a while. Like, you're running out of chances here, man. And he basically gave himself a new life and another look at the very least. Matheus Nunes, honestly, in my opinion, the past couple games has been average. He's not been bad. He's young. I obviously see potential, but he hasn't been some sort of indiscriminate starter. And Geralds, in my eyes at least, definitely has potentially at least made that battle to start in that spot closer because he was really good. He was obviously, in my opinion, the best player on the field in the second half.
Yeah, agreed. And Nando, what were your thoughts on the game, dude?
I mean, I agree with both Steph and Chris so far. To me, probably the biggest takeaway was watching Francisco Geralds actually get an opportunity, but actually play well with that opportunity. Because I don't think, for one, I haven't heard any Portuguese ever doubt his talent. If anything, we've doubted, coaches' game plans for him, whether or not they've given him a fair opportunity, or maybe even his mental, capacity, which is what I've been questioning for a while now. So to see him come into the second half, not only have 1 or 2 opportunities to score goals, but to show that spark, to show that excitement, to show uma vontade, like a desire, to be part of this team, in some capacity was extremely exciting. Of course, Giovanni is doing Giovanni things. He's on a complete tear. We can't expect that to happen every single game, but he's showing a different form of finishing, whether it's set pieces or now acrobatic goals. He's proving to be decisive. I think that early on in his career, given opportunities, he's been very hit and miss when it comes to the decision-making aspect of his game. So I like to see that he's being a lot more determined and making those decisions to go for goal or, whatever the decision may be, he's focusing on that. Steph talked about Quaresma. He was due to have a bad game or a poor game. Obviously, they scored that first goal off of his mistake. That happens to everyone. I don't care who it is. So I'm not really worried about that. It's good to get those out of the way now. But as a collective, when Belenenses scored that first goal, I think I tweeted, let's see how Sporting reacts to adversity. And they reacted just fine. They came back. Coates did his thing. He could have had a second goal on a header. And the team found a way to win and could have won and should have won for 5-1, 4-1 at the very least. Belenenses' goalie was on top of it. So when you take that and you look at how the team performed all together, and then you take away those standouts, I'm really, really impressed. Ristovski, had some good play there. I'm happy, man. As a collective, the important fact is we're winning. We're winning and we're slowly improving. And to get a win out of our belt when we were down early, come back, win, and could have won by more, that should hopefully carry into more wins, more assertiveness on the pitch. And that's what I'm excited about. The wins in succession and players obviously getting better as time goes on. This is our preseason, like we've all discussed, right? We're Ruben Amorim. And hey, we might very well be competing late into the season for a more important spot. I mean, we're still ways away, but who knows, right? So as long as we keep improving and we keep getting those W's, that's all that matters.
Yeah, agreed. And we'll get into, just as Jordan says here, Jovan is a beast. We'll get into Jovan and his performances lately just in a bit. I just want to kind of emphasize one thing and kind of reiterate one thing. Our youngsters have to learn from these mistakes. I did like Eduardo Quaresma's attitude after giving up that goal. I mean, he gave up the ball and then he also played Lika onside, I believe it was, for the goal. But after that, almost flawless. So I do like that mentality within the club and within him. And more importantly, it sort of seemed like a weight lifted off his shoulder when Quach scored the goal, when he went to go celebrate to Quach. Mathieu Nunes, a very bad game. He gave the ball away a lot. I think that's why Amorim switched him for Doumbia, and well deserved. I like when coaches do that, when they have the balls to take somebody off because of their mistakes, and that's something that we haven't seen a lot. Maybe it has to do with the 5 substitutions too. It also helps, but I liked Amorim's attitude on there. And more importantly, just to emphasize, because I think it's a lot easier to hate on him when he makes a mistake, but I feel like when he has a great game, it sort of flies under the radar. Luis Max, another great game. Some big saves in the game, kept us in it. There was a few opportunities Belenenses had that they could have put it away, and Max was there. So I need to quickly give a quick shout out to my boy Max. We'll go into some causes on the game. Obviously, we discussed enough about the first goal. Second goal, pretty straightforward. Header from Quach. Then he dedicates it to Mathieu. We'll get into Mathieu in a bit. Mainly, the main point I wanted to get at was the penalty. We scored for 3-1. Of course, there was a penalty shout just beforehand on Jovan. I don't know if you guys all recall that. It was sort of a shove, but I don't think there was a lot in it for when it was 2-1. I think we'd all agree on that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. And then on the third one, I've seen a lot of ifs. Maybe it was a penalty. Maybe it wasn't a penalty. What do you guys think on it? Steph,
Pretty
if you want to
sketchy.
take.
Pretty sketchy.
Pretty sketchy, but you know what? To me,
The thing that makes it even sketchier is the fact that he got a retake too. Just a sequence of sketchy events there.
Well, the PK itself, I think it was a PK because you can see its second foot dragging and magically knocking down our player. So to me, there's no question it was a PK, especially now that you have 22 cameras with 22 different angles, and they have their sweet time to fucking replay it really slowly. I mean, you're only going to get it wrong if you want to, because now you have more than enough evidence to see that it was a PK. So the PK in question, it was a PK. Now, the repetition of the PK, was it the correct call? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
Agreed.
Now I want to see. I mean, I liked it because it was for Sporting, and I'm a Sportingista. That's obvious. But Now, what's fair is fair. Now that rule should be enforced to every single team. It shouldn't be just the one time. It should be across the board for every single game, every single team. Then I'm okay with it. But he did move both. He can move one foot, not two. One has to stay on the line.
Yeah.
But he moved both before Giovanni took the shot. And that's why they called it. Who called it was a linesman. It was not even the referee. It was a linesman. And then the cidade, the futebol, confirmed it. They reviewed it and they said, yes, he moved both feet before he took the shot. So, and then one of my coaches, Jorge Amaral, is actually Benfiquista. He brought up a good point. He said, what about Wendell jumping inside the box before he took the shot? Should he have seen a yellow card? He should have seen a yellow card. But Belenenses had 3 players that jumped into the box. So that would mean that 3 Belenenses players would have to also see the yellow card. I was debating with him on Facebook.
Here's the problem with it, though. Like, either you call it always or you never call it.
Yeah.
And it seems like as like an unspoken rule, we've decided that we're not calling it. So when people do call it, it's like, what are you doing? I don't know how many of you or how many people watched a lot of this. I know people in the States care about it more because our team is good, but the Women's World Cup, they were using VAR to ping the goalkeepers for stepping off the line in almost every single PK in the game, and then giving the keeper a yellow card. And it was happening on like 80% of the PKs in the Women's World Cup. And people were like, what is going on? Like, we're just going to start randomly, strictly enforcing this? Like, okay. But then it was really the only thing where I've ever seen like that. Like, it's not like, oh, in the Champions League they call this. It's like, no, the only thing I've ever seen where they're calling that like all the time was that the 2019, I guess, Women's World Cup. And I've never seen it elsewhere. Like Steph said, he was off the line, but it is strange that they decided for this time, for whatever reason, to call it. But it was a great save. I'll give him that.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, but the referee was put on the spot by the linesman. Because if the lineman calls it, now the referee has to call it. It was more the linesman than the referee. Anyway, but with that said, listen, I agree with you, Chris, and it should be across the board. If you're going to call it across the board, then.
Yeah, I agree. But I think I'm with you, Steph. Though I couldn't agree more. He was off the line, so they got it right. The
rule, the yellow card is changing next year. They're changing it. They're not giving a yellow card. They'll give the goalie a warning.
It seems.
And I think that's best. Yeah, I think that's best.
Yeah.
Because it's instinct too. You try to go jump for it. You just happen to step up a bit.
Because the referee now has no choice. The rule says it has to give him a yellow card. But next year it'll change. There'll be a warning first before the yellow card.
Yeah. I can't really think of another instance of this game that really needs to be reviewed.
What about just the general overall consensus over Belenenses threatening not to come out for the second half? How does everybody feel about that?
I mean, I can understand why they're frustrated, because in their eyes, they think the PK itself is bullshit, and then they think it's bullshit that he gets to retake it, and it happens like right on the stroke of halftime. So obviously they're seeing red. You know, they're clouded by anger. So I mean, obviously it was just like an empty threat, but at the same time, I hate Belenenses, so I think it's kind of funny. But
yeah, for sure.
We're usually not the beneficiary of these types of bullshit incidents.
Yeah. It's such a typical thing of a petite team, too.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Such a typical thing of them.
I hate him. I hate the team. Like,
Petite's always been slimy, though.
Yeah. I mean, he was even talking that shit after the game as well. He was proud of the boys, but
your boys are shit. Let's be honest.
He could go fuck himself.
They had a decent game though. They scored a goal. It was offside, but they had some decent chances.
First half mostly.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, we mentioned Sheikh Geralds. I just kind of want to also quickly mention from what I've seen from him, he's really liking a long range shot. I think he had about 3 or 4 in this game.
Kept ripping him.
Kept ripping them. I'm not sure if Bruno Fernandes also started talking to Shiku, like he's been talking to Jovan, or
just
I don't know. But
anytime, dude, they're kind of getting on him in England about that. Just side note.
Really? That he's constantly
shooting.
The
They're
shooting.
like, why is this motherfucker shoot every time from like 35? I mean,
Well,
obviously,
if you don't shoot, you don't score. You know.
I think once he scores that one banger.
Time. Well, he set his standards too high because he scored in like 5 straight games when he got there or whatever. So he's had a couple games where he hasn't scored, so they're getting antsy, but they've been spoiled so far.
Very true. Very true. To be honest, Steph actually brings up a really good point that he messaged me privately. Guys, if anybody has a quick question they want to ask on here, either give me a shout on Twitter or even on the comments below. I'll send you a quick link.
I think
we'll have you on here.
We have a couple, Danny, from Twitter already.
From Twitter, for sure. I mean, like in a video chat, if anybody wants to come on the video quickly and say some words, or also give in a quick question, send me a quick shout, and I'll send you the link on Twitter or something, or whatever is beneficial to you guys, and you guys can come on here quickly and shoot a question or a comment, or
you can send the link on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a bit more dangerous because bare people are going to start jumping in, but it is what it is.
But you
I mean, I can add and remove whenever that.
Yeah, exactly. You can accept whoever you want and kick them out as well. So it's pretty easy.
Yeah, fair. I'll actually do that now if anybody wants to join in and ask something or say something. But yeah, I mean, this game was also marked by Mathieu's retirement. Premature retirement, mind you, but still Mathieu's retirement. Of course, suffering a knee injury in training. A nice gesture from Sporting, having his name on the back of everybody's jerseys. And then, of course, Coates going to the bench, grabbing his number 22 jersey after he scored a goal. My question, I guess, is how big of a blow is this for the rest of the season? I know we're still playing the youth, but, I mean, it seems more and more like we're fighting for even a Champions League spot potentially. So how big of a blow is this to the season? And if you guys can think of, because there's quite a few, your favorite Mathieu memory with him in the green and white. It's been a solid 3 years. Whoever wants to take that first, really.
I'll jump in on this one. For me, was his crying after we won the Taça Portugal. Just like you can't fake stuff like that. You know what I mean? You can't. You could tell when some players are going out of their way, especially with all the players that left after the Alcochete incident. The fact that he didn't, I mean, granted, his age has something to do with it, but he felt the club. You know, he truly loves the club. That was pure emotion, happiness, joy, almost relief. You know, and like he said in his farewell message or whatever, when the players were listening to him, you know, he regrets that we haven't won a league. But just the fact that, like, he came in, became such a vital part of the club, and then the fans just completely gravitated towards him. You know, we first was like, well, who's this old guy? Good mentor, and then just genuinely caring, man. You don't need to cry when you win. You don't need to show all that emotion when you win. And he did, because he felt it, and it was genuine. At least that's how I perceived it. I wonder how you guys did. But that to me was my favorite Mathieu moment, was that moment of expressing his happiness when we won that cup.
My moment was when Sporting needed him the most after Alcochete, he stayed. He didn't become a rato like William Carvalho, like Rui Patricio, and Gelson, and many more that I don't even remember because I chose to forget about them. But Monsieur Mathieu, he stayed. He didn't flinch. He didn't blink his eyes. He never said, "I'm going to quit." He stayed, and that shows a lot of character and how much of a professional he was and is. And hopefully, he'll stay within the Sporting structure as a coach or dirigent. And if he chooses to move back to his native country, France, I mean, we'll understand that. That's where he's from, and but we'll miss him for sure. He was a true professional, and those direct kicks They were amazing, and I'll miss him for sure.
Yeah, agreed. How about you, Chris? Oh, you're muted.
There's a couple goals specifically that stand out to me. I think one of them was 17-18. Yeah, I think it was 17-18. He scored the winner against Belenenses at home. It was a cross from I think it was Acuna, and he it was just one of those games where it's 0-0. We were like the season wasn't totally lost at that point yet, and we're just pushing forward, and then finally break through. He also scored the winner off a free kick, I think last season, against Nacional at home. I think we were down both 2 times in that game. We came back to win 3-2, and he scored a free kick in like the 75th minute. We had just turned the game around. I think Bruno Fernandes scored, and then a few minutes later, free kick from like 30 yards out. Kind of wide too, Mathieu banger. I think we ended up winning 4-2, scored another one after that. But yeah, I mean, the thing that sucks about Mathieu, as Steph alluded to, is the fact that this happened now. It makes him not play out the season. Obviously, it makes him. I'm not sure how much of a part of the team he's going to be. If he's going to be around at all. Like it kind of gives him more time to be away from Sporting to think about what he's going to do in the future. And I think that the more time that he's away, obviously, back home in France or wherever he goes, is more time for him to think about doing something else. So I think that if the season ended and then we kind of transitioned right into next season, as it seems like it's going to happen, maybe a couple weeks off, but we're just basically going to go right into 2020-21. If that happened, the turnaround was less quick and Mathieu was still in Lisbon the whole time, I think it would have been much easier for him just kind of assimilate into the coaching staff. But now that he has more time to go home and think about it and stuff, like, I'm not saying he's not going to come back. It's not impossible, obviously, but I would say the chances of it seem to have decreased, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, and one thing that I liked that at least Amorim mentioned just prior to the game was that Sporting will be willing to do everything in terms of like helping him recover and stuff like that. So I do hope he's not, taking the first flight to France and he does stay at Sporting, at the very least to recover. Let's quickly just jump into our Aussie Tuga, our boy Jose Costa. George, how's it going, bro?
Good morning, America and Canada.
Good morning. How's it going, dude?
Mr. Costa?
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to join you, and it's always a great pleasure to listen to your program every week. I try to listen as much as I can because it's in the morning, but sometimes, yes, I miss other commitments, but it's always a pleasure to listen to you and participate as well.
It's an honor having you as one of our most loyal fans, dude, our most loyal participants, truly.
Thank you very much.
How is it being a Sportingista down under?
As you know, it's hard to be a Sportingista out of Lisbon, out of Portugal. Even in Portugal, I think it's hard because lots of people, they feel the club, but if they live up north or in the south, out of Lisbon, I think it's very, very difficult. You don't watch games. It's hard to go to the João Rocha to watch the modalidades. So I don't know. I tried for the past 3 years. I tried to go to Portugal at least once and watch a game, which I have done in September, which we lost with Famalicão. Man, I was very upset. But
that was one of the turning point games. My grandfather was actually at the same exact game. He was in Portugal at the time. Yeah, we lost 2-1, I believe, right? They scored right at the end.
Yes.
As everything was starting to unravel.
Very, very good goal by Vieto in the first half, I think. And then in second half, we fucked it. We stuffed it up because
you can curse on
here. We fucked it up.
I think Battaglia or something, he scored on goal. And so, oh man, come on. I think it was him. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, Battaglia. But it's the way it is, And as well, I feel here it's all right because I live in like 100 km from Sydney. We have our nuclear there. Lots of members. We celebrate our 20 birthday 20-year birthday last year. This will be the 21st in November, I think. So there's a lot of people that you join and have a few beers, and of course, last year we had Manuel Fernandes, Jardel, and Carlos Xavier. So you make your own judgment. I spoke with all of them. I think they're still Sportingistas defending the club in their own ways, which we can agree or not agree. Or
no, that's cool that
not.
they came down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We always invite.
When they came to America, I was happy to welcome.
Yeah,
I may disagree with that, but when they came to America, I'm still gonna, welcome.
I have a picture of Manuel Fernandes. You and Christian. I think Christian was the one that took the picture.
Yeah,
I have a pic with Manuel Fernandes in Portugal.
And let's just say, I know that you were saying they were drinking a few beers. Believe me, Manuel Fernandes in New York was also drinking a few beers. He wasn't completely sober when I took the picture with him.
He was having a good night.
Yes.
We're just enjoying the rooftop,
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a few words with him, and one thing that hit me, and I didn't like. I didn't say anything at all. He doesn't seem to like Nani at all. Nani came to the club, had a few games, was trying to be the boss of everything. I said, come on, man. The guy was the captain. He played good. He didn't left the club. He's a Sporting guy forever and ever, not like other guys. And the other thing is, Manuel Fernandes, he loves Frederico Varandas. I don't know he was with him at Setúbal, I think, but he defends the guy like. And Bruno Carvalho for him is oh my God, he's the devil.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I don't know. It's the way it is, man.
I agree.
You're not really allowed to be a surrogate representing Sporting abroad if you don't subscribe to the approved programming, let's say.
Yep.
And I would describe what you said. Well, what you said is the approved programming. Other viewpoints aren't really welcome, especially if you're representing the club abroad,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other day, I don't know if you saw, the guy says, Manuel Fernandes says on television that Sporting doesn't tell him what to say or not to say on the cameras.
He's
on TV.
so embarrassing on TV.
But fuck, he says shit, mate. He doesn't defend the club like he should.
But he's there for the pro-mais values. He's there for those older generation fans, like my dad, who sits there and just eats that up. My dad sits there and he's like, "Oh, this guy, he was good at Sporting."
He was a great player. He was a great player in his time for sure. Yeah, he was. Any Sportingista will remember the 7-1 against some other team. But as a commentator, man, the guy is dreadful. He should.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, he's pretty bad. Yeah.
We have to find some people to put on the national televisions in Portugal that defend the club really, as Bruno Carvalho was saying. Defend the club, whatever you can do for Sporting, not be on the television, and that pissed me off, in this other side of the world, as you can see as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can tell he has a cartilha. He's been told what to say, and he shouldn't be the Sporting representative no playoff. He shouldn't be.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. They should have some other guy that defends the club with a better perspective. Yes, and not. I don't know.
Especially saying, as he admitted he got paid by Sporting, but nobody tells him what to do at Sporting. Blah blah blah. I think whoever is at the club, like, you should be neutral. If the club is paying you, I think it's a conflict of interest, right?
Big time.
Ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
But you see how the other guys. For instance, you see how Rodolfo, the guy from Oporto, defends the FC Porto. The way it's he doesn't take shit even from the presenter. He told him, "No, you defending whatever the other SLB because you defend them all the time, and that's not how it is." Manuel Fernandes, you should have a better posture in front of the cameras for our club. It's not how you do it. Anyway.
Agreed. Anyways. Ozzy Tuga, Zé, thank you very much for joining us. Guys, it's been a pleasure.
Really appreciate
thank you for listening in as well. Really appreciate it as well.
Absolutely,
Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Sam.
I think I exited too soon. I'm so sorry. Go. Wait. You're back. Ciao, buddy. Ciao.
Take care.
Oh, fuck again. I did it again.
That was a
Okay.
cool cameo.
That was cool.
Yeah, I
guys.
like that.
Yeah.
Anybody
We're
listening
killing-
in?
we're killing
Anybody
this,
wants
man.
to do
This
it?
is-
Please join us.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to take it from here, to be honest.
Today I found out, and I'll do the legwork, but we could also go live on Facebook. We'll talk about it offline later.
Fair enough.
There's one last thing I want to say about the game. One last person I want to shout out. Rostovsky, who got the start at the wingback position, and he played pretty well. I thought he was putting crosses in that were actually reaching other people on the team. He was the one that crossed in the Jovan goal, which was right on the money. I just thought Rostovsky in general going forward was pretty dangerous.
You could tell that the team gravitated around him too, because after that assist, he had a good group of players come up to him and congratulate him, hug him, celebrate with him, almost kind of like a little pick me up.
I might be reading a little too much into sorry. I might be reading too much into Ristovski's celebration or lack of celebration on that assist.
Very subdued.
Yes, no emotions, seemed very pissed. Okay, mind you, it was for the 2-1. So I was very shocked to see that.
No.
Was it for the 1-1? Was it 1-1?
I think it was a sign of relief.
It was for the 2-1.
I mean, to be honest, Jovan didn't
it
even celebrate that much either, and he just scored a fucking belter.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful goal. But
He didn't really celebrate either, though.
I think Vitovsky was more a sign of relief that finally he has an assist.
Yeah.
We're just fucking battering fools, so we don't even celebrate goals anymore. It's just too easy.
Calma.
Hey, we're not gonna win shit. So
I think.
But I'll tell you what: if we able to steal the second place, holy shit!
Well, if we steal second place, it's going to be it's going to be very similar to the way in which
coronavirus
we
and all.
lost second place.
No, I don't want to go to Marrakesh for second
It would
place.
be.
Seychelles is going to get invaded by no-name boys. They're going to.
Then we can go celebrate.
And it's starting in Marítimo.
But
it's
a lot of money. A lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's millions we're talking about.
Anyways, we got another guest on real
would be
quick.
crucial right now.
Sorry, dude. We're joined here by Paul Pont, bro. How you doing, bro?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. Where are you joining us in from, dude?
San Jose, California.
Jeez, West Coast.
The West Coast. Awesome.
So what's up, dude? How's it being a Sportingista out on the West Coast? I don't know if is there a big Portuguese population out there or what?
Yeah, we actually got a little area, the city called Little Portugal. We got a Casa de Benfica. We got a sporting house. We got a few other things over here. I played marching band in the Philharmonica. It's the whole thing.
Oh,
sick. That's super sick, dude.
And with the Jubileo 76, I love it.
I do love that too, dude.
Yeah, picked it up at a game. It was the where we played against Benfica, and William Carvalho fell on his ass, and then Sporting got scored on, and then we lost the league.
Yeah, the same.
You were at that game? Is that the Brian Ruiz game?
Yeah, that's the Brian Ruiz game, isn't it?
Oh my god, dude!
Did you catch the ball at least?
I can't even imagine.
Dude, I was cursing and screaming. I've been to see Sporting play 3 times in my life, and every time they lost. And I'm like, I should not go to games.
Jesus Christ. Next game you go to, give us all a warning.
Yeah, exactly.
I know where to put my money on.
We'll have you on the show beforehand, asking you your itinerary.
Yeah, I even saw him lose against a friendly against the Earthquakes here in San Jose.
Damn.
What was that in? What year was that?
Oh, it was a while ago because Landon Donovan still played for the Earthquakes.
Early 2000s, I'm guessing. Yeah, I don't even remember that.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he played for them.
Yeah, it was
Dude, he won MLS Cup for the Earthquakes. Donovan
did he?
Yeah.
Before they stole our team and moved him over to Houston, and then it's a whole thing.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
But I actually had a question. Since Mathieu unfortunately got hurt, although I don't like the idea of Borja playing center back, I think I'd rather have him play center back than Ilori. What do you guys think?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 200%.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Borja's played pretty good the past couple
Yeah.
games. Like I've had no complaints about him, to be honest. So definitely.
And he's crucial because he has a left foot. So that's why it's very important to play him on the left rather than Ilori. And Ilori, he could have a good 45 minutes and then he fucks it up the next play.
He's just so inconsistent. He's so out of touch with the rest of the team for the most part, always.
Yep.
Yeah, the big thing I think we're gonna miss is Mathieu, his like elder statesman quality, where he's gonna be back there like marshaling the defense and like the idea that Coates is the veteran guy who's supposed to have a level head scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the leadership we'll miss him. We'll miss that from Mathieu. That's a sure thing.
Yeah.
It's also scary knowing. I mean, Coates. I mean, as he's not old by any stretch of the imaginations, but he's also not young. He's only 29, so it's also scary in terms of that age factor. I think now that Mathieu's gone, I think he's only youngest to Renan. So we definitely lose a lot of experience in Mathieu. And of course, having another center back that can play out with the ball. But I mean, I'm with Chris. I've liked Borja. I don't know if it's the system, because I mean, I do remember Borja playing left center back with Kaiser as well. So maybe it's that. But no complaints so far with Borja. Maybe once we face a team like a Porto or something that'll cause us more threats in the air, we might see Borja really, my opinion, maybe fuck us over a bit. But so far so good, But we'll definitely miss Mathieu.
Yeah, I was actually pretty stoked though that Emerim actually had the balls to, even though we were winning, bring on another attacker.
Mm-hmm.
He already did the typical Doumbia sub, but still he brought in Camacho, and I was like, oh my gosh, an attacking sub when we're winning. I haven't seen this in so long.
Do you think that system will remain unchanged if we play? I mean, basically the Benfica game and even the Porto game are potentially decisive at this point for all parties involved. Do you think that we'll still play the same system, the aggressive three at the back, even against
one? You have to.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. Honestly,
you switch out of that right now, you run the risk of just complete setbacks and the natural progression of what the team's done so far. You know what I mean? It's just showing that confident in that tactic. So now's the time to do it.
Yeah, and I think changing your tactics just because you have a big game coming up is too much of a Jorge Jesus thing to do. And
it's how we end up with a 0-0 of like every single Clásico that we've ever played. That it seemed like it mattered for us. They're always they're nothing,
Yeah. I look back at like times when we had guys that weren't even that great, but guys like Yannick Jallo scoring goals against Porto because we were actually attacking during those games. Like we actually, I felt like, there's a lot of bad stuff to say about, towards that end of the Paul Bent era and all that stuff. But I felt like a lot of times, at least he tried to attack in bigger games, even if we were with a weaker team on paper.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't honestly, like I remember you just mentioned how Amorim bringing on an attacking player surprises you. I think honestly, the last 2 years we've been dicked around with so many coaches and so many bad decisions that Amorim can breathe. And we'll be like, oh my God, it's fucking amazing. Just because of how poor these managers have been.
Be careful, though. He's still Mr. 10 million.
Of course. But so far, it's worth it. So far.
Don't forget that.
Is it?
Mathieu Pereira.
So far.
It's not worth it, but it's not worth it.
Yeah. We're slowly pacing that way.
Hold on.
Campeões do lockdown, caralho. What do you mean?
Look, there's two things to take into account. Mathieu Pereira was just sold for 9.5, so we have enough money to pay him off to Braga, which I think he's a little bit more expensive now, 12 million because of the interest. But also, don't forget, people keep forgetting that, Amorim, he's a good coach, but let's give it some time because it's only 5 games and so on. But don't forget that Kaiser had Rafinha, he had Bas Dost, he had Nani, he had Montero, and Amorim has none of those players.
He doesn't really have anything. But it also is worth noting how quickly things can change. The coach who is about to get fired, who coaches one of the other big three teams in Portugal. At one point, not that long ago, there was talk of locking him up with an extension with €100 million buyout because all the big boys were going to be looking to swoop in this summer. And that it really changed very quickly. So I'm not saying obviously it's going to happen, but I'm just saying coaching is a volatile.
Coaching is what have you done for me now, not last year.
No, I agree. Look at Bruno Lage from Benfica. I know we don't talk much about our rival, but this is a perfect example. A year ago, he was the best. Today, he's a piece of shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with Rui Vitória. It was the same thing with Jorge Jesus there. It was maybe it's that set of fans. Don't get me wrong, but
but it was
very fickle fans there. But I do agree with your point. It's the same thing.
It was the same thing with Kaiser. It was the same thing with Silas.
That's true. We had Kaiser ball for at least 3 weeks. You're not wrong on that. We are. That is us too.
I remember Kaiser ball when that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like it was 10 years ago.
I know. We only had 6 coaches in a stretch of 2 years.
We did exactly. Anyways, Paul, thank you, bro, for joining us all the way from the West Coast. Actually, I'm amazed on how far this actually stretches. First, we had Australia, now West Coast is amazing.
You out there watching those early afternoon games at that time difference.
What time is it now? It's
like those early morning games, actually.
7:10.
Yeah, 7:10. Yeah, usually the games are on over here, around noon or 1, which is cool. But if I want to watch like English League, I got sometimes, during the regular season, I got to get up at if I want to see that 6 a.m. and I'm not trying to do that. So DVR is my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, Paul, bro, thank you very much, man. We really appreciate it, dude.
Of course. Great show, guys.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man. Love. This is cool. Let me just say. Anyways, where was I going here?
Pretty cool, ain't it? We have a great question from Lawrence. He's asking, Lage is gone now, right?
I'm not sure if it's official.
Not official.
Not official yet. Yeah, not
official. He's put his spot up, or he's offered his resignation. They have to accept it, or what the fuck is going on?
I keep reading that too. Yeah.
That's him just being politically correct.
It's really weird.
Well, the thing is when you give your resignation, it means that in this case Benfica wouldn't have to pay him a cent because he's resigning. So meaning that okay, fine, we don't owe you anything. So I think they're going to talk about it, and then if Luis Felipe Vieira decides with the administration, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's better if you go. And we'll pay you X amount of money, and that's it. And I think that's what's going on.
Rui here is saying it's being reported that he won't manage the training session tomorrow. So yeah, it looks like he's gone. I also seen just when I got home, one of the soccer shows, I can't remember which one, was saying that he's gone at the end of the season for sure. But I'd be very shocked if they do that. I don't know.
Who's gonna coach the rest of the season?
Mauricio Pochettino.
The B coach.
Yeah,
the
right.
B coach.
Paiva, whatever his name is.
Paiva from the B team.
But again, it's
no, you guys.
Not to talk too much about rival fans, but it's funny how I'm already seeing the Paiva's the right man for us. He knows how to play with our youngsters. When Bruno Lage was just
it's gonna be Tony, bro.
So
I say Tony the Caneca.
They're gonna bring in that old fart.
Tony the Caneca.
Honestly, I think it's going to be Marco Silva.
They're going to bring old Tony.
Dude, Marco Silva blows, man.
I think it's going to be Marco Silva.
Yeah, but
and then Marco Silva is going to.
Marco Silva would fit that.
Sorry, go for it.
No, I was just going to say he would fit that narrative right now, and he's been linked to Benfica and Porto in the past. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it'll be him yet, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy all of this Jorge Jesus making a pact with the Flamengo players that I was reading earlier. There's no way. But Jorge Jesus only cares about Jorge Jesus. He doesn't care about Flamengo, Al Ahly, Sporting, Benfica, Porto. He doesn't give a fuck. So,
but think about it. If you Jorge Jesus,
he likes Benfica, bro,
and you're winning all those titles at Flamengo, why would you leave?
Because he wants to. Jorge Jesus is an arrogant
Jorge-
fuck. He wants to shove it to Sporting if he can.
Money. Exactly,
yeah.
stuff. Exactly.
Money.
Because I was gonna say, this guy left Al Hilal like months before he was about to win the Asian Champions League and the Saudi Arabian League, who he ended up losing it to Rui Vitória, out of all people. So
he wants to coach Porto. Period. Like that would be his ideal situation in Portugal. He's talked about his love for Pinta Costa and how much they love each other. So that would be his number one, I think, if he comes back to Portugal. If that can't happen, I think he would try with Benfica. Pinta Costa has gone out in record saying multiple times how much he loves him and how much he's like admires him and all this stuff.
On Bruno Carvalho's book, he said that Jorge Jesus once threatened 10 minutes before the game that if he didn't get a contract renewal or something like that, he was going to sign with Porto right after the game.
Yeah.
So it's no secret between the love between the two players, the two Pinta Costa and Jorge Jesus. Anyways, I'll quickly go on to Twitter questions. Because we still got to do that. Also, I guess we can also mention our player of the game quickly on our game. Steph, if you wanna bang that out while I find the questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna. To me, the player of the game, of course, it's gotta be Giovanni. Yeah, he scored 2 goals and phenomenal player. We knew that he was a phenomenal player. He just needed confidence, like Bruno Fernandes. By the way, I'm liking what Bruno Fernandes is doing. Even though he left Sporting, he's very actively. He remembers Sporting actively on social media. He doesn't forget how much we did for him, and I appreciate that very much from Bruno Fernandes. He could have been like Rui Patricia, being a piece of shit that doesn't give 2 shits about Sporting, or Gelson or William Carvalho. But no, he always mentions Sporting in a positive way. So even though some Sportingistas didn't like the way he behaved at the beginning, I have forgiven Bruno Fernandes a long time ago. Yeah, and he's still a very classy player, and he's still representing Sporting real well on social media.
I'll jump in on that real quick, man.
Go ahead, of course.
I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if either one of you other two here feel the same way or not, but I don't feel him being genuine every single time he posts. It's just something's not adding up to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just being cynical. Maybe I'm choosing to look at it from a negative perspective. Do I like that he goes out of his way and says what he says? 100%. But I think that even with his celebrations that he started doing, he was covering his ears for the longest time to avoid listening to the critics. I don't know, man. I feel like he's just going out of his way right now to try to paint that picture, change that narrative about how he is and who he was. Maybe time will tell for me too. I'm not sure. But real quick, I also think that Giovanni was the man of the match 100%. He's continuing to he's progressing, man. Every game he's getting more and more decisive, and it's pretty cool to watch. It's pretty cool to watch because I think we all agreed maybe last week or the week before that we think that Mathieu Pereira would have the more talent of the two, or we all believe that he had the more skill set. But Giovanni is putting it all together right now, and is becoming a very influential part of this team, and that's only going to get us more money in the future as well.
Yeah. Hey, I'm with Steph. I just also want to add, I'm with you. I've forgiven Bruno Fernandes a long time ago, and more so now than ever, because I get what you're saying, Nando, but he doesn't have to do this. He's at Manchester United now. He can fuck off if he wanted to. He continues to do it. He continues to give our players morale. Listen, I appreciate it. Whether it's genuine or not, I appreciate what he's doing.
Yeah, me too, because he doesn't have to do it. He could say, I don't have to fucking say anything.
I agree with you, Danny. So if it's genuine or not is beside the point. Is it good for the club and is it good for the players? Sure. Okay, 100% agree with you there.
I think he got thrust into a leadership role because he at the point that he was made the captain of the club, he wasn't ready to be the captain of the club. But he obviously grew into that position, obviously, right? So by the time that he left in January, right, obviously he was the captain of the club. He grew into the role. And so I still feel like he looks at his teammates, his friends, as if he's still their captain. And I think that the care is actually genuine. Although I do like overreading into people on social media, Nando. But for this specific thing, I think that is genuine.
But one good point that Tiago Pereira brings, the covering of his ears was a celebration for his daughter.
I've heard that.
Yeah, and that was confirmed by him as well.
Yeah, I mean that's when he first did it. He did it the first game of the season.
But what did he say otherwise too? Because he started doing that whole covering of the ears pretty much on point with when we started tearing him up a new one on social media.
He did it in the first game after the rescissions. It was the first game of 18 or set of 18-19.
Exactly. So like the timing.
So obviously people thought that, and then he said that. So who knows if he actually was doing that or if he was just making an excuse at the time.
But like Denny said, he doesn't have to say one thing about Sporting.
No, and he also doesn't have to do that celebration anymore, and he's
a Manchester United player. He could say, "Fuck Sporting, I don't give a shit anymore." But that's not what he's doing. He's being very proactive, and all he does is say good things about Sporting Portugal and motivates all the players, including Giovanni last time, Mathieu now recently, and he doesn't have to do it, but he's doing it. So I like that. And for me, that's very classy because all the other players, they don't give a shit about Sporting. Look at Rui Patricio, Gelson Martins, William Carvalho.
Oh yeah, those dudes are all a bunch of aproveitadores.
And Rui Patricio was captain of Sporting for how many years? And he's not. He didn't do that then. He's not doing. Definitely not doing it now.
That one hurt. That one hurt the most.
That's a cagar for Sporting.
Exactly. Before I go into the Twitter questions, we actually have a question from our Braga friend here. So a rival, but still a friend. David Pereira, he asks, another Ricardo Isgaio rumor. Is Ristovski not working out in RA system? Ristovski and Camacho, of course. I'll give that one to Christian. It also seems like a rumor that's been going on since I feel like Verandas has come in. What do you think, dude?
Yeah, it's been going on from January. Honestly, 10 mil for Isgaio, fuck that. I view it as like he was already here, right? And we all at least for me, I wanted him to be good, but he really was never good enough to be here. He obviously is much better now and he's grown into the role at Braga. But I mean, first off, giving Braga 10 more million for a player that was already here, just for me at least.
No.
Exactly.
I agree with you. Get him out of
They need to
here.
be investigated for money laundering if they actually end up doing it.
But I called it at the time when we sold him. I don't know if it was a Jorge Jesus decision or a Bruno Carvalho decision. I thought that was fucking stupid. But I also thought Jorge Jesus was stupid for not playing Isgaio left back. And he was who was he forcing at the time at left back?
Jefferson?
Was it Jefferson? It might have been Jefferson. And Jefferson wasn't playing that well. And Isgaio I always at least rated him. But hey, that's just me. But anyways, I just have to throw my 2 cents in there. Let me quickly go on to Twitter. Our friend Lauren on Twitter asks, at Lauren Yeno with 3 O's. She asks, should we try and sign Angel Gomez on a free? Angel Gomez, I believe he's Nani's godson, if I'm not mistaken. Also plays for Manchester United. Apparently his contract is expiring on Wednesday. She also asks, is second a realistic possibility? Yeah, I'm changing my tune and Ruben's Cubs are thriving. And then she says, thinking ahead, which young player are you most excited about potentially seeing in the first team next season? So 3 questions here. I'll give them to all 3 of you guys. But who wants to? So Angel Gomez. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Angel Gomez here. Whoever wants to take it.
I'll take it. I'll take it really fast. Too expensive. Move on.
Agreed. Contract is too expensive.
We're
too
not
small.
We're not gonna have money for him. Ele quer ganhar logo 4 milhões ao caralho. Where do we have that money? We have to rob a bank.
Or we gotta, cut the 50 vice presidents that we have.
Deals with Braga.
Nando, I'll ask you this: is second a realistic possibility?
No.
Wow.
It's just I'm going to say no because it's just so. It's just that we've done better than what we expected. I think we'd all agree, and they've done way worse than what we expected. And I'm still not sold that they're just going to continue to plummet. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope it comes down to that Sporting Benfica game. What is it? The last game of the year at the Luge? What's our
Yeah.
No,
what's
shit.
our
Yeah.
end of something like that, right?
There's a Porto.
No.
No, it is
What,
Benfica. It is Benfica.
Yeah, should be
It is
Benfica.
Benfica.
So like, I hope it comes down to that. But realistically, like to sit here and go like, oh yeah, Benfica back for the points again next week, and again the week after that, and then maybe it again after that. You're like, come on. It could happen. I hope it happens. But realistically, looking at the from that perspective, I don't think that's going to happen. We're doing it's a little too much too late, and third place. Let's secure that, and go from there.
Yeah. And Christian, which young player are you most excited about potentially seeing in the first team next season? Not named Daniel Bragança. That's a cop out. I'll put you on the spot there.
So they're not in the team this season, but they're going to be in the team next season. Okay. So there's rumors that even if Sporting does sign a goalie, that Anthony Walker is going to make the first team. Who I honestly, he's only played a couple games for the U23s that I have never actually seen him play in person. Only ever read about him. He got in the first team trainings under Kaiser back in the day. So, I mean, coaches have noticed prior to Amorim that he had talent. And basically, if they're saying that he's making the team next year, then Diogo Sousa is out or the backup on the B team or some shit. Diogo Sousa is irrelevant at this point. He's too old. They've decided that he's not going to develop further and that they think Anthony Walker is a more talented option. So I am actually very interested to see Anthony Walker play. And who knows? I mean, maybe he's even the backup. Maybe Max is gone. Maybe Walker's backing up Olsen. I have no idea what's going to happen. So, he's my answer.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
Same. Next question comes in from Joel Da Silva, former guest as well, at Joel Young _073.
He's in Switzerland, isn't he?
Switzerland, Luxembourg, I believe.
Luxembourg, you're right.
Actually, he moved. I think he's
His
in
tag
Egypt somewhere now.
Yeah, his tag just says Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore. I was going to say Indonesia.
That's sick.
Singapore, yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's sick.
Hey, it is sick.
Fun fact, I once looked into immigrating to either Indonesia or Singapore because they speak English. So maybe I'll meet you there, dude.
Why? Because of the food or?
As puta.
Yeah, I was about to say, come on.
Os culhões, exactly.
Oh my god.
And those are like a little secretive.
You guys are stupid.
Anyways, Joel asks, from 1 to 10, how would you rate RA's work so far? Ruben Amorim, of course. What positively surprised you, and what could he do better? I don't know. What do you guys? Anybody who wants to take that?
I think so far Amorim is doing great with what he's got. The best move that this administration did so far that I'm mostly impressed was actually getting rid of Gizet and Bolazi. That was actually the one thing I wanted the most for several months. And Amorim going full-blown with our youth is actually a very smart move. Because now, if you look at the media, all of our players, from Mathieu Nunes to Giovanni to Nunes, all the price elevated, they all looked upon as potential great players. So, and I applaud that. So to me, he's doing great. We don't have any so-called superstars. If you look at the team, who's our superstar? Now it's Giovanni, but from outside Portugal. Who do we have? Vieto? Sporares. We don't have
been decent. Quatsch.
We don't have a
no superstar.
We don't have a big name like we used to have Nani,
like
Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
And this is a player that Amorim has. And we winning. We winning with our youth. And we kept on saying that in our amateur humble podcast. Give our youth a chance. Give our youth a chance. And now he's doing that. And guess what? We winning. Of course, there's growing pains that goes into building a team, but we're doing great. We're doing phenomenal. So for that, 2 thumbs up for Bruno Amorim, for the Ruben Amorim, I might say. And I'm expecting 2020, 2021 to be a great season if he keeps up with that. But I'm not dumb. I think we do need to get 1 or 2 veteran players and have a good mesh to go with the youth.
Agreed. Next question comes in from Andre at 10xzitty. And Christian, this is going straight to you because you're the kit man of the podcast. He asks, prediction for the new jerseys being announced on Wednesday.
So are we actually so they said stay tuned for a special announcement at midnight on July 1st. So that would mean basically tomorrow at midnight in Portugal, so 7 o'clock Eastern time. Is that special announcement the jerseys themselves coming out? Because
possibly.
I'm no marketing genius or expert in this field. It seems kind of strange if you're trying to do a big release to do it in the middle of the night. But maybe they know that, I guess, like, in the era of not having in-person events, like, it's normally announced at, like, the gala. Obviously, the gala is not going to fucking happen because we're not doing shit like that these days anymore. So, like, it's just like if you're just dropping it online, I guess it doesn't really matter what time you drop it at, right?
It's going to be a Veranda's fashion show for us in midnight.
And then I think the question worth asking is if it does get released Tuesday night, right? Are they going to wear it in the game on Wednesday? Are they going to wear it in the games going forward if they don't wear it Wednesday? I think that's worth pondering because that would be pretty cool. I've seen other clubs do that. It's typically like the Bayern Munichs of the world, and yeah, I feel like
I love your investigative work on the whole.
I feel like Manchester City has done that. Like you wear your new kit the last couple games of the old season, but if there was ever a year to do that, it's now. This year, yeah, in this like weird season that we're in. So yeah, I will. I'll keep my eye on it. Macron's released a couple of their 2021s already, so it wouldn't be inconceivable that they would drop the kits on Wednesday.
If I'm not mistaken, I think typically they do on.
They usually do July 1st. Yeah,
exactly on our anniversary day. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Also, nice to see Andre in the chat right now too. Thank you for joining us, Andre, or thank you for being with us here. And then last question before I go on to one more question here from our boy Johnny Buckets. Let me just say it one more time. New York's finest. From Alcoshit Youth on Twitter, he asks, do you think we will see Joelson play for the first time this season? What do you think, Nando? Our 16-year-old phenomenon.
Nah, man.
Has made the bench.
Maybe. I mean, I can't say no because obviously Ruben Amorim has gone out of his way, I think, to show that anybody has a potential spot on the team right now. And he's been, what did he call up the other day? Like 14 guys from the B squad or something like that to practice. So anything's possible with Ruben Amorim. There's been players that haven't played as much that I thought would be playing with him, and there's players that I didn't think would be playing at all that are playing with him. So I think that any young talent at Sporting right now has an opportunity to shine. Period. Whether it's Joelson or someone else, I think they have a good chance.
Yeah, agreed. Let me go into that question from our boy Johnny Signero. He asks, who would you want to sign at center back? Great question. We haven't been linked with a lot of center backs, at least lately. I don't know if you guys have any names in mind. I'm trying to think of maybe Portuguese league center backs right now, but I can't really think of many.
So I have another question on top of that question. So are we saying that Neto doesn't fit in this system?
Probably.
It seems so.
Yeah.
I think for the system, Amorim likes.
What if he's the direct backup to Kawhi? The central role.
What I'm thinking is because even Kawhi is decent on the ball. Like I've seen Kawhi make pretty fantastic runs forward and make significant space. lose it, but when he loses it, it's just outside the opponent's box. I think what Amorim is really going for is a back three or a back whatever that can really play out the back or that can really play with the ball. Eduardo Quaresma, I've said a few times here, I think he's more of a right back than a center back, and I say that because he's really good on the ball. Of course, this week he's proving me wrong in terms of him fucking up on playing the ball out and then playing the guy off onside. But I mean, as an 18-year-old, he's going to make mistakes, so I'm not going to hold that against him, really. So that's why I think Netu's out. I think Netu was never really a good fit. I think he was just a experienced Portuguese center back that was out of contract. And okay, what I think Varanda's just thinking at the time was Portuguese experienced center back at Zenit. He has a spot here, even though we have Coates and Mathieu. He's out of contract, so we're not paying transfer fees. We might as well pick him up. That's what I think was the thinking there, and I think it was. Clearly it was a mistake. I mean, we barely played him this season.
We do have an up and coming center back. His name is Gonçalo Inácio. Yeah. So that's someone to look at. But if we're looking for someone with experience, then that's a different ball game. Like Jordan B is saying, it should be a center back that's lefty. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
If you want to play
Mathieu replacement,
if you want to play with the system of 3-4-3, it makes sense to have a center back that's lefty because it's dangerous not to be lefty.
Yeah, agreed. I don't have any names in mind though, Johnny. So I gotta apologize there. I don't know if you guys do in terms of signing a center back.
No,
I don't really either.
We haven't really been linked to any either.
We have Ivanilo Fernandes that's loaned out, ain't he?
Yeah,
agreed. Yeah.
Scored an own goal yesterday. Shout out Ivanilo Fernandes.
That sucks. Maybe not.
His team's shit. They're in the relegation zone.
Yeah.
Is it Cunha back? Kosh is asking.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I haven't heard any news. I don't know if you guys have.
I heard the news that he's back, but he's still conditioned. But Jovan Cabral, on the other hand, he's not back yet to practice.
Which is scary.
Well, yeah. Yep.
Must win to get within 9. Cut the lead to single digits.
I know. The Miral, like Lauren is saying, oh my God, we gave him away to a Turkish team, which they.
I wanted to say him too, but then I was like, fucking shit.
Yeah. And there's another Portuguese player that used to play for Sporting that's going to Juventus. I forget his name.
Felix Correa.
Yes.
We sold him to PSV, I believe, or Manchester City at PSV.
For peanuts.
No, he was loaned out at AZ Alkmaar.
That's what it was. Sorry, not PSV. Yeah.
And then he went to MC for peanuts. Yeah.
For penis?
But he's trying to say
peanut.
Peanut. I said peanut. I don't know about all that, bro. Upcoming game.
Enjoy the mar, Jorge. José, by the way. I'm super jealous.
Quem disse para ver o mar? Foi ele ou foi o Laje? Foi o
É o que ele está a dizer.
I thought it was Bruno Lage.
O Laje também, talvez. Sei lá.
You might find
talvez os dois.
You might find Lage there.
You might find Lage there com Vieira, caralho.
O Bruno Lage está na Praia da Caparica, bro. I've been many nights in Praia da Caparica by
bro,
Lisboa,
that's a nice praia, bro. It's a nice praia.
Yeah, it is. A Praia da Caparica?
Yeah. As putas são melhores.
Oh, it's a disaster.
I don't really know where to go from here, boys. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I got nothing else.
We got predictions for Wednesday.
I guess we can go into previews.
Yeah.
For sure. We got previews going ahead. Quickly give a recap. I mean, we mentioned it already, but in terms of the title race, Porto now is 6 points ahead. Benfica pulled a Sporting of old, of Jorge Jesus Sporting. What is that?
Sitting on
17, 18, right?
Like the leaning
Where they
back. Yeah, very infamous picture.
Like leaning back, knowing there's nothing else to do. They lose 2-0 Marítimo, shockingly. Luís Filipe Vieira, a prisão ou quê? Because esta merda está a olhar preta e já não há cartilhas, já não há nada. What's going on, boys?
It makes it more.
Anyways,
it makes it more difficult when now there's the video camera to cheat. So
yeah, that's true too.
There's
They find a way.
There's not really, because now the pressure is on, but there's one thing that scares me. There's one player from Marítimo in the first half that the referee was too fast blowing the whistle, and he killed the play. And he's not supposed to. He's supposed to let the play finish before he blows the whistle. The linesman, he raised the flag saying offside, and the referee blew the whistle. And that he was offside by 38 centimeters, which is almost nothing. He's supposed to let the play go. And that's the one thing that the referee still could fuck it up. Because once they blow the whistle, the play is dead. And the rules of the VAR is you have to let the play go. But then I thought maybe it was done purposely by the linesman. But then throughout the second half, the referee and the linesman, they did pretty well. So maybe it was just that one incident. But that's one way that referees still can control the fucking games. It's by killing those plays when they know they have to let the play finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just quickly also want to mention it was a great two very great goals, but in terms of us looking as Portugal fans, Ferro, what are you doing? Very horrible game from him, especially on those two goals. He was in my eyes, at least, he's both at fault. Nanu killed him. Killed him.
Yeah. What a player.
Yeah.
Wow. I think Benfica is going to get him and then loan him to another team.
I agree. That always seems to happen too.
To control.
And then of course, we also have Porto beating Passos Ferreira today 1-0. A goal scored in the 7th minute from their center back Mbemba. Porto, to be honest though, shit housing their way to a title. I gotta be real. They're nothing special. In my eyes, at least.
They should not have won today.
No, not at all.
It's been bad pretty much all year.
They were shit.
Oh, yeah. Today, Passos Ferreira is hands down, they were better.
Passos Ferreira is shit, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Passos Ferreira is playing better than Porto. And I don't know how they won, but that's how you win titles.
You just grind them out. Yeah, now they've got basically a 3-game cushion in hand. So it'd be impressive if they fuck this one up now. They'd have to outdo Benfica at this point to fuck it up.
I think honestly, Porto's their best games this season were beating Benfica, the 2 games, and it's proving because now 6 points ahead. Those are the 6 points that they found. The only really good games I've seen of Porto this season.
They fucked up a bunch of games at the beginning, and
credit to them. Hey, they're about to win themselves a title, but.
I know, and they broke.
No, I remember their first game. They tied 1-1 against Gil Vicente or something.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And they are, exactly. They're broke.
They broke. They ain't got no money. They financially in trouble. And
Benfica doesn't have any fucking money either. They're taking out loans on the low.
I know.
They think that we don't see.
It makes you think. What happened?
They can't even agree on their damn General Assembly on the.
They disapproved it. The funding. Os sócios do Benfica, they disapproved by 48%, which
was just a fuck you to the state of the club.
Yeah, because it makes you think, where's the fucking money from João Felix?
Bro, in his pocketbook, bro.
Exactly.
In the pocketbooks of other people that help him win.
20 went to Weigl. 20 went to Weigl. 20 went to Vinicius. Another 20 went to the fucking striker they bought. That they fucking sold to Vallecano.
Okay.
What's his name?
RDT.
The Spanish guy.
Hold to my.
Exatamente. And then the 60 million, hey bro, fucking Luis Filipe has to eat, bro. He needs bail money too, bro.
He's got to feed his family, bro.
You know what's his nickname?
Latrell Sprewell?
What's his nickname?
well, he has several things. Orelhas, okay, but the real one,
Orelhas, yeah.
but the real one é o Gaddafi dos pneus.
I like that one.
O Gaddafi dos pneus. You guys look it up and you'll know why it's called that way.
Okay.
You look it up. He was involved with fucking tire business, and it's funny. Look it up. O Gaddafi dos pneus. O Gaddafi dos pneus. É mais trafulha. How can Benfiquistas support this fucking guy? He was such a.
They're turning on him now. They're turning on him.
Yeah, they are.
They're turning on the Benfiquistas. They're so fucking fair weather.
Oh
so
my God. Listen.
Se o Benfica acaba por ser campeão, os Benfiquistas 85% approval.
I mean, there's like talk that he's like maybe gonna resign. Does it? You guys actually believe that? That's
no,
even a
he ain't getting
possibility?
stepping out, bro.
No
He's
way.
smart.
If
He's
they
setting up
lose
the
every
stage.
game for the rest of the season, will he resign? If they lose 6 more games,
Luis Vieira's setting up the stage, bro. He's getting a gauge of where the fans stand or don't stand with Adam. He'll definitely get rid of Bruno Lage before he resigns. All right,
he's doing a Who's Loyal to Me. He's doing a Kim Jong-un move. Right
yes,
now.
bro.
He's the only president. He's the only president that was sócio do Porto, Sporting e Benfica.
But he said he needed to swim at Sporting, so he had to be.
He's an equal opportunity scam artist. Don't worry.
É filho da puta.
No Sporting não tinha que nadar, tem que ser sócio.
É gatuno. É o Gaddafi dos
Let me
pneus,
just say,
right?
it's getting so bad at Benfica. They're thinking about electing a Bruno Carvalho themselves.
No, he's
Bruno
Madeira,
Costa Carvalho, but Bruno Carvalho.
Oh, that would be too funny. Rui Silva.
That'd be great if they elected that guy.
Yeah, that would be.
Rui Silva.
Tomorrow. Oh, sorry, go, Steph. My bad.
I said Rui Silva, I think, will have a better shot to win the elections. Because they fed up with the Luis Vieira. But I don't want to talk about Benfica. I'm glad they're doing bad, actually. That it brings joy to my life.
I hope it continues.
I know. Hey, Chris,
long may it continue.
Tell your father I'm sorry.
I said on the last pod, all their games are must-see TV at this point because you know something bad's going to happen, and without fail, it always happens. So, when's their next game?
They're just imploding, bro.
When is the next game? Let's see here. Boavista at home on July 4th.
And then they play Guimarães soon as well. They got a tough stretch there.
July 4th.
Yeah, a little 4th of July.
Let me just say, it'll be a beautiful Day of America if Benfica lose.
I've got a Boavista jersey. I'll throw that on.
Yeah.
I mean,
tomorrow.
Go ahead. Gil Vicente.
Sorry. I was just gonna say tomorrow we have basically our Europa League rivals all playing. We have Famalicão playing Portimonense. Portimonense also having to fight for survival. Famalicão fighting for European places. That's gonna be a big game. Guimarães and Setúbal. I think it's all but set for Guimarães after their loss against Braga. But they're still in the fight for it technically. And then a huge at 4:30 Eastern, Rio Ave Braga. Both of them fighting it out. Let me see what the points difference is. I know Braga is 50 points. Rio Ave have 44. A win for Rio Ave, and I think they're right back into the race. So those are going to be huge games for us, at least, as well as our direct rivals. And then, of course, Wednesday, July 1st, the anniversary of Sporting. And, for my fellow Canadians, also Canada Day. You know, we get to celebrate the two on one day.
Nice.
We get to play Gil Vicente at home.
What do you guys do? Like drink maple syrup? Any other traditions?
We go to our igloos, eh?
Bacon.
We go to our igloos, eh?
Bacon.
We eat some Canadian bacon, eh? We play some hockey, eh? And we drink some maple syrup, eh?
Hey.
Hey. And yeah. That's really, I guess we can go into the Gil Vicente game. Gil Vicente, a decent team. They are in, I think, mid-table. They are in 11th, 33 points. Don't necessarily really have to worry about relegation. They're about 9 points ahead of Portimonense. But, of course, Sporting's been on fire. We also play at home. What are your guys' thoughts on that game?
I think Sporting will win, and I'm going to say 3-0. 3-0 Sporting.
How about you, Chris?
We can't be stopped right now. It's too good, man. 3-1.
Wow. How about you, Nando?
2-0. One more from Giovanni, at least.
I don't want to be the negative Nelly, but I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think we're crashing back to reality, and
If we
Vitor
don't-
Oliveira
We don't win. We're not.
he
getting
loves fucking us over.
We can't get second.
I don't
if
think
we
so
don't
either. I hope we win. I hope we win. I hope I'm jinxing us. I think it's gonna be
We
1-1.
are going to win for sure. I'll guarantee you.
I like that. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not fighting you. I hope you're right.
I already made some phone
I just want to be the
calls.
negative one.
I made some phone calls. I got my taser. Já sabes como é que é.
Don't kill me. All right. Anyway, don't kill me in two ways, like laughing and anyways. Guys, thank you everybody for joining us. I guess that's the end.
Busquita wants to keep Diaby. Thank you, Johnny. That's good news.
That is good news. Thank God for Besiktas.
I actually just a side note real quick. I know we're getting long.
Yeah.
I
No, it's cool.
had my TV on. I was watching some La Liga, and they have BN Sports in America, and they have Turkish League also. So the Besiktas game from this weekend came on right after, and I was like, oh shit, I wonder if Diaby's playing. He was playing, and he fucking scored. I heard,
too. Yeah.
I was watching, and I was like, our dude. So
did his price go up?
If he convinces, if he convinces in these like 8 games for them to buy for $3 million, fuck yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Really fast on a side note, tomorrow great game from La Liga, Barcelona against Atletico de Madrid at 4:00
Tomorrow?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good game, man.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Barca's kind of imploding a little bit, losing points there, lost first place.
Okay.
yeah, Real Madrid is
Their
on top
manager
by
is
2 points.
apparently sacked too.
Yeah, Messi like doesn't listen to him anymore. It's pretty funny.
I mean, who does Messi listen to?
Too messy.
Maybe to his wife.
look-
and on Thursday, City against Liverpool.
That's
Not
not.
that
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
anymore.
not that it matters anymore.
Oh,
Yeah. I guess we can also say congratulations to Liverpool.
Bro,
I'm
I was so happy for them, bro.
It gives us hope. One day it could be us.
That's exactly what my logic was. I called my dad, and I literally had to talk to my dad about Sporting.
Maybe in 30 years.
I said, oh, fine. All right, pa, temos fé. And my dad's like, I don't want to hear it. And I was like, it took them 30 years. And we'll get there.
And listen, the only difference is how much money did they invest?
Exactly.
Well, there's a lot of differences, but
And they were able to get a world-class manager as well.
those dudes,
Something
you know,
Sporting can.
despite not winning the Premier in 30 years, they out here winning Champions League or competing for something like big like that. You know what I mean? It's not like they sucked for 30 years.
That is the main difference.
They've been very good in Europe, if not the best in Europe.
Yeah. They have how many
in this time frame?
Champions Leagues? 8? 8
Well,
Champions
they've won 2, right?
They've since 2000.
In my
They've
lifetime,
won one
I
against
think, yeah.
Milan, lost one to Milan,
They lost another.
won
final,
one against
right?
Tottenham, and then lost one to Real Madrid. So
Yeah, so
won
they've
two,
been
lost
in
two.
4
Real.
finals that I remember. Yeah, in like the 2000s. Which I mean, if you're 4 Champions League finals, I mean, shit could be worse for your club, I guess.
Yeah, and I think they won a Liga Europa too recently as well, like right at the beginning of club.
They have 6.
No, they lost one. They lost it. They
they
lost
have
the final to
They have 6 Champions
Sevilla?
League.
No.
1977, 1978, 1981, 1984, 2005, and 2019.
But didn't they win a Europa League as well recently?
Sorry, let me just find that Europa League one because I believe they lost it.
No, they have a.
No, I know they went to the final. I think they lost it though.
They have
They lost
lost
it
it
to Sevilla in 2016.
no, they have 3 Europa League.
that was Jurgen
That's when
Klopp's first year, I think,
Sevilla
right?
a UEFA Cup. That was the UEFA Cup. They have three: 1973,
Yeah, something like that,
1976, 2001. They have one FIFA
But-
World Cup in 2019, Super Cup
Mm.
4. So
That was yeah.
and Sporting
And this
has,
and this was their what? Their
was this
18th
year.
premiere or 19th?
I think
19th.
18th. I think they're now
Oh,
one
yeah?
behind United.
Está igual ao Sporting.
19th, yes, 19th.
Yeah.
United
fuck it.
tem 20.
Damn it.
Sporting's 22, by the way, Nando. Come on, have some respect for yourself, bro.
Yeah,
You're right. I know. I know.
Just kidding, of course.
Ugh.
Anyways, let me just give a special shout out to our boy José Costa Jorge and Paul Pont for joining us. That was special, Steph. I want to say it on air. Thank you for that idea. That was great.
Also, thank you to Lauren, to the Real.
Of course.
Não consigo dizer o nome.
Rui. Like, we call him Rui.
Rui.
That's our boy Rui.
To
I was just about to go. Fox Leal, Jordan B,
Georgian B.
Johnny Bucket, Johnny Siniero, José Maria Reis. Who else was here?
Lauren
There's a few other.
I think
Lauren Jenks, Tiago Peruteu.
Zinski.
He's not related to the Peruteu, is it?
Tzinski, Andre, who also sent on a Twitter question. David Pereira,
Juice Box Leal.
Box Leal. I think that's it with the comments.
Yeah, that's
and then of course on Twitter it was also Duel Leon. We had comments again from Lauren, from Cantonese Chip. I missed that nickname, Lauren. Let me just say that out loud. I missed that nickname, Cantonese Chip. We also had questions from Alkushit Youth, and yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us. Really appreciate it. Thank you for listening, for getting engaged in the conversation on Twitter. Again, if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, that's Sporting160_EN, where we're the most active. On YouTube, Sporting160EN. On Soundcloud, Sporting160EN. iTunes, please reach out if you do still listen on iTunes. I've been having some trouble trying to upload it on there. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if it's because when I try to convert the stream into MP3. Anyways, if you guys do still listen on iTunes, give me a quick shout out and I'll really investigate on how I can fix it. If not, it might not be worth even trying. And maybe we'll go on to other things. But yeah, that's also Sporting160EN. That's podcast number 73. Thank you all for joining us. And of course, thank you to my cohorts, Steph, Christian, and Nando. And Viva Sporting. And, July 1st is coming. That's our anniversary date. And really, Viva Sporting Club Portugal, 1906, baby.
Viva.
All
Viva
day.
Sporting.
There you go. This thing's always a little slow. Hopefully it